Big dog, baby, but you already knew. Feeling like Wayne, everything brand new. Hopped up out the coupe, so fly, it's like I flew. I just want the bands, I ain't talking about no.
Yeah, we got my boy Chris up in here, man.
What's going on, man? How you
CP,
doing?
what they call him.
Hey, CP, that's it, that's all.
Yeah, man. You my first guest that's a non-ISUPK member, man. Yeah, that's what's happening. You know what I mean?
It's an honor, man. Thank you.
Know what
I
I'm saying?
appreciate
For
it.
surely. You know what I mean? But, I always bring people on here that got a pivot story, you feel me? So you was in the one state of your life, and now you're in a different state. You know what I mean? So
definitely.
That's where we want to bring you on. But as always, though, we're gonna start from the very beginning.
Yeah, let's do it.
You know what I mean? I tend to get to the nitty gritty of your life. You feel me? So whatever you feel uncomfortable with, just pass.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All right, let's get it. So let's start off with this. The camera don't know that. People don't know that. I've been knowing this man since we was 12 years old.
Yeah,
since 12 years old. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much know a lot of his life. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna bring it to y'all, man. So we gonna start.
Bruh did have a fro back then too. And everything.
I had the fro, just the fro too.
Just the fro.
I don't think I damn near never got braids.
Braids,
I got that just big fro.
And there was not one lopside on that fro neither. Not never. And bro played football. Take the helmet off and right back.
Helmet, yeah. That's funny as hell. All right, so let's start from the beginning, man. Where'd you grow up? You know what I'm saying? Where'd you grow up? How did you grow up? You know what I mean? And all that. You know what I'm saying? So we can start there.
I'm from San Diego, California, born and raised.
Yeah.
They're currently still.
Yeah.
I love it. I was raised in East Dago, Del Mar, Chula Vista, and it was like consecutive, like 3 things back to back to back. It was like, trying to find stability at that young age of my mom. You know what I'm saying? Like bouncing around everywhere and finally like settling down in Chula Vista for a minute. And we stayed there in that area, Chula Vista, National City, for close to 20 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Close to 20, yeah.
Yeah, East Dago. We got to speak about East Dago and speak about what Del Mar is like for the people. Man. You know what I mean? Before we get to Chula Vista. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
But can you tell us a little bit about East Dago and like,
At that time, it was way different than it is now. I mean, the people still are for the people that are, but it felt like it was more back then.
Yeah.
Like now it's just like everybody's just out for self, but there is good people over there. Don't get me wrong. Me growing up over there, I felt safe. I felt comfortable. I felt alive. Like that's when I was going to church all the time. Like me and all the kids from Highland. I grew up on Highland, right there across the street from Hoover.
Oh, okay.
In the apartments, we would always walk to church.
Yeah.
Come back, and then it was up from there until them street lights came on, and it's time to get in the house.
Right, for sure. And then like people don't know about East Dago too. It's a blade nearby.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's a famous Holstro. I'm trying to paint the picture of it being that type of area.
Yeah,
where you gonna see that.
Yeah. When you're young, when at that age, like you know what I'm saying. My mind definitely wasn't in that area. You know what I'm saying. I would wonder why, this woman didn't have no clothes on walking down the street. But then the thought would come in and go. You know what I'm saying. But my thing out there that I seen though when I was a kid that I was paying attention to was more like the drug thing, like when the drugs really started hitting people and seeing like my uncle's friends and shit, like all messed up and all that type of stuff. That's more of like what I got as a visual,
right? Other
than what really goes on over there.
Right. So you stayed in East Dago until what age?
I left there when I was 9.
Oh, okay. And then so like what was your what was your household like? What was your upbringing like?
Single parent household, moms, moms.
Yeah.
For a minute it was just me and her, and then my
Miss
brother.
Nicole.
Yeah, Miss Nikki. Like, don't tell them to call me that. It was single parent, It was just a regular, just me and moms for a minute. My closest sibling to me is 6 years younger than me. than he was about. Then from there, it was kind of like I didn't know it then, but looking back, it was like that's when I like grew up because the attention was all to him, and not knowing how to deal with it. I was outside
Right.
with all the other kids that I feel like and look like me. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? But it was love though. More than anything, it was love. But I was always figuring out my way at that age, and I was conscious of it at that age.
Right.
Like I seen things, you know what I'm saying, like that people did and that were wrong and that were good too as well.
Yeah.
And I had my mind made up at a young age, like, nah, this is who I'm gonna be. You know what I'm saying? As far as like my character.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For sure. So you know what I mean? You grew up. What was your pops at? What was he on?
Pops is from San Diego. They lived in the Skyline area. Him and my grandmother, and then he moved to Texas.
Yeah.
And then I probably seen him two physical times before that I could remember. Before I went to go see him in Texas when I was like 16, 17. Like actually like made the decision on my own to go with my family out there to like meet him at that age.
Right. Well, people don't know this too, man. Like when you was born, like you had a heart condition, right?
Yeah, I had a hole in my aortic valve when I was born. It's like 1 in a million type ordeal. You know what I'm saying? Like just really, I mean, obviously I'm firstborn, so I don't know the feelings of others in the room, but I'm pretty sure for a parent, I am one that's pretty like eye opening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For a parent to have to feel that for her first child, you know what I'm saying?
And you had
I had three open heart surgeries.
Yeah, 3 open heart surgeries.
When
right?
I was first born, 7 and 17.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
So why'd you have to get one again? Like it was just
the replacement valve I just outgrew because of my height. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all. They knew I was gonna be like how big I am, but so they were prepared for having to replace them.
Oh,
it wasn't
wow.
just like, oh, you know what I mean? Like bro's growing up, like gotta switch it out.
Yeah.
They were prepared, you know what I mean? But as time did go, the procedures were different. So I mean, all three were open heart, but now they could do it to where like it's just an incision, you feel me? But they had to crack open my ribs and you know what I mean, tubes, catheters, all type of shit, anesthesia.
How long was the recovery when you were 7?
I was in the hospital after surgery. I was in the hospital for a week.
Oh wow!
When I was 17, lost like 45 pounds, which I didn't even have. You know what I'm saying? At that time, I was skinny.
Right.
You know what I mean? But like,
okay, why did you lose? Because of surgery, or did you get sick or something?
No, it's just like your stomach just shrinks, and you can't just like all my organs were just taken out of my body, set aside so they can do their surgery and placed back in. You know what I mean? It's just standard procedure. Like I had a toothbrush full of water. That's all I could have. That's all my body could consume at the time.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like working back to try to get to like full 100% was a challenge. You know what I'm saying? At this time, everything is like unfolding too, sports, all that type of stuff too. So it's like, it was, when I had it when I was 17, it was very eye opening though, because I was actually aware of like what, like me closing my eyes and opening them, and then my chest being wide open.
Right. Damn.
You know, and that last time was something that was life changing.
Right. We'll get to that for sure. So then you go from East Dago, then you move to Del Mar. What
Del
age?
Mar, 9 years old.
9 years old.
Yeah,
okay.
we move up to Del Mar. They had opened up a program out there. You know what I mean? For the Section 8. So, mom was like, kind of the area was getting bad. You know what I mean? I'm out of here. But she took that and went on her own, and you know what I mean? Like for a cool minute, it was like, oh, we out of here. You know?
Yeah.
Not like that,
but talk about
she did the best thing that as a mom, as a parent, any parent would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to 2 areas, of course, that's a no-brainer.
You got to talk about the culture shock you.
Oh man,
that you had because you got to talk about how Del Mar is.
Yeah. So the norm is everything is just flipped upside down. You know what I'm saying? Everything is just the complete opposite. Like there's, like I have friends, because I was a new kid, so I have friends that Monica, my friend, you know what I mean? Just regular stuff. I'm walking into these like parents' houses, and I'm like, bro, what? You got a quiet time place and shit. Like, what is this? I mean, like, you know what I mean? Even though we were in the area, it was still an apartment, but still, it was the love was the most important. But they had that as well, but they had like designated like areas where these kids would be at.
Yeah.
So it was like a culture shock for me, and then like. It was just it wasn't something that I was used to. I don't think I ever got used to.
Yeah,
just because, like, you know what I mean? Like, I've seen filthy rich people. Like we've both seen them before, been around with the, you know what I mean? It's something with the energy with those certain people. It was more like I'm not. There's no way I can like conform to this type of lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But it did save.
Yeah,
it did save me though, for sure.
For sure.
And I'm forever thankful for that area. I love the people who I'm still cool with to this day from up there. You know what I mean? I still talk to some of the homies, their parents and all that. You know what I mean? Good people, but definitely night and day.
Yeah, because I mean, that's when I met you in Del Mar. I think we met 12, 13 years old. And when I moved out there, it was a culture shock for me. We was in Del Mar. Like, just to get the people to think that Del Mar is like Beverly Hills?
To put it.
You know what I mean? So we were around on nothing but white rich people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A whole bunch of white rich people. And me, Chris, and then we got another homie named Brock, was damn near the only black kids there. Every other person that was black there was from over there.
Yeah,
basically.
That part.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like,
or unless they stayed over there in the apartments.
Yeah.
But other than that, like, I didn't stay in the apartment. I stayed across the street.
Oh no, you stayed there.
Yeah, basically. So we get there. I meet you. We go to Como Valley, and then we go to Como Valley. It was hella fun. You know what I'm saying? It was hella fun. Yeah. So we get there. There's a whole bunch of white people. We going, like you said, we going to white rich people houses, big houses. I had Jewish friends. I went to bat mitzvahs. You went to
yeah. Like at the time, you know what I mean? Like at the time, it seemed like such a like, what the fuck is this? I never knew this type of stuff existed. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the alley at?
Yeah,
like there's no alleys here. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was beautiful to see, though.
It was,
and I believe that we were placed there for a reason, so we could just have our lives.
We be meeting people. We meet people like some of our friends. Are like, yeah, we're just go get some food. I'll pay for you. Don't worry about it. I was like, what? What?
You sure?
You sure? Like,
sure?
Yeah, I got you. You know what I'm saying? Every time it was like we get everything paid for from all them. It was crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? For sure. I remember you and Brock y'all was messing with them little white devils.
Hey, hold on. Nah, yeah, that was when you're something new in the area.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? But I couldn't do that. You know what I mean? I did it one time, and I was like, something felt wrong, and I was like, nah, bro, I'm going back to who I know, and I see who I like.
Hell yeah.
As far as race.
Yeah,
so there's some good people out there, bro.
No, there was some good people.
I mean, we went to school with fucking Emily Ratajkowski, fucking politicians, all type of shit. That you know what I mean. So it was a very good platform for us to be in, but.
For sure.
That was short lived.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we went to Torrey Pines. We played football there for a year. You know what I mean? And me and you moved.
Yeah, me
and you moved. You moved to Chula Vista. I moved to Mary Mason, and it was that. But we all still stay connected for sure.
Off top.
So then you moved. We was in that area, and you moved down to Chula Vista.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Like we ended up getting evicted from the apartments right there.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yeah.
After hella years?
Yeah, after hella years. So whatever happened, and then we were kind of like scrambling for a spot. So we didn't have one immediately when we were gone. So we were in and out the hotel type shit. And then until we got to Chula Vista.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's where everything like really like took off.
Yeah.
You know?
Remember that one time? Remember that one time when we was kids? I took you to church.
Yeah.
I took him to church in the dip. The dip is like Lincoln's, Lincoln Park Bloods. That's their area. You know what I mean? And we used to go to church right there.
Yeah.
And I took Chris to church one time, and it was funny. We were talking about it this week. And we was in church, and he had his hand up the whole time. You know how Christians put their hand up, like in the church.
I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing.
I go there after church. I ask him like, "Why you had your hand up the whole time?"
I had no answer. Either. Like, you see that? Oh man, I'm following suit. You know what I mean? I don't even be up here.
Hell
you know, not right here.
Well, around that time, man, we was kicking it tough because, like, I remember we was on a basketball team on San Diego Finest.
Yeah,
Coach Shannon.
Shout out
you know what I'm saying? We come to my crib. We watch Reggie Bush.
Yeah.
You know, we watched Reggie Bush every Saturday.
Man,
every Saturday. It wasn't even about USC. About Reggie Bush.
Faithfully.
619. We watch his games. My pops. You know what I'm saying? He'll go to our games. Yeah, that was a little time, man. That was a little time for sure. You know what I mean? You introduced me to all your peoples.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I remember we was talking. I was telling you, I was like, them was all your friends.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm your friend, but they're your friends.
Yeah,
you know what
part.
I'm saying?
That part.
You feel me?
Nah, I understand.
So I mean, that was a good time. You know what I mean? That was cool. It was an experience for sure. Yeah, I mean, but I think we both was placing the spots we needed to go.
Most definitely.
You know what I mean? To get the trajectory of our life. You know what I'm saying?
See both sides for sure.
For sure. I'm probably missing something, but we might get back to it.
Yeah.
So you go from over there to Del Mar, you go to Chilla. You know what I mean? Then you up in Chilla Vista. That's like south, opposite.
Yeah, south. Yeah, it's like 13 minutes away from the border.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Like you hop on a freeway and right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So now you in Chilla, and how you get acclimated to that?
Very fast. Familiar faces, because during that time of me staying, when I met you in Carmel Valley, I inherited a foster brother at that time because one of my closest friends' mom got deported. So my mom signed the paperwork over, but he was from out there already. So he knew people out there. So like, you know what I mean, going to school and like meeting people was like a breeze because Big Bro is, you know what I'm saying? This is his area. So like I was able to, you know, kind of just get in there real smooth without a hassle as far as like that same new school, new kid vibe type shit. It was like kind of like familiar. I mean, those things did come though, but
to keep it real though, like I always knew you to be popular. Everyone always knew you, so it wouldn't have been a big deal for sure.
No, but I knew what kind of stakes. I knew what kind of stakes what the gamble was over there.
Yeah,
being in that area.
Oh, I got you.
That's the only reason why I was like comfortable with taking that route of being, you know, little bro to
I know you're talking about
literal little bro. You know what I'm saying? But I just given the circumstance, but no, I mean it turned into what it always turned into. You know what I'm saying? You know, someone wants to test it, then they lose, and then they get upset, and then I'm popular, and but these things are also happens to a lot of people and a lot of kids, and I feel like it's something that needs to be dissected,
right?
Because that can really fucking mess a person up. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't even aware of what an ego didn't even know the word existed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember my coach always been like, "Leave your ego at the door. Leave your ego." Like I was too ashamed to be like, I don't even know what that means. So
right.
You know what I'm saying? And then as life lifed and me teaching myself certain things, started damn, my ego was crazy back then. You know what I mean? Like, you know, but it's checked to where it needs to be.
For sure. And then like you go to Hilltop, man. I remember, you know, we got at San Diego, we got PPR. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's how we would keep up with each other.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That part.
So I'll keep it with you, I'll keep it with Brock, and then y'all keep it with me. We'll tap in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, boy, I see you today. Like you went crazy because PPR is like highlights for Friday football, high school football.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't wait till they get to Hilltop. I couldn't wait to get to Torrey Pines. You know what I'm saying?
Racist.
So I can see my boys like, okay. And then they show, I'm seeing Chris, I'm like, whoa, hold on, what? Like head top everybody.
Yeah.
You know, Brock going crazy. Brock always been like that.
It's perfect for all of us for what position we play.
For sure.
You know
for sure.
Mean? There's no way all of that would have worked at that program.
Torrey Pines, right. So like you was in the sports, you played basketball, you played football, like you know what I'm saying? And then like it was Hilltop, like what kind of area was it like?
I would try to compare it like some a very good. It has wealth through there for sure, like homes.
Right.
There's a lot of apartments, but more homes, and especially now in that area, everything is expanding and fast, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But
You stayed close to Positive Bonita.
Yeah,
Yeah, you was right there. Yeah.
I stayed right around there.
Mm-hmm.
This specific spot in Chula Vista was off of L Street.
Oh, okay.
Down there when I first went to Hilltop, but then I later on down the road moved right there.
Oh, where I know
National
you.
City.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep, that part. But it's a beautiful place, beautiful people.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
and Knuckleheads like every place.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
But it's not with brothers though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was more like the Mexican thing. You feel me?
Right.
We had ones that went to Hilltop at the time when I arrived, but that surely like just started to get washed out because they were doing crackdowns. Somebody had got stuck down the street at a different high school, so all that was already getting washed out as I'm entering. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was like kind of like perfect timing. I mean, there was things, but it's a good place.
Right, for sure.
Great place.
So then, okay, so like I remember like we was tapping in. We probably like didn't tap in for maybe like a year, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Like 10th grade year, probably didn't tap in. Junior year, we probably tapped in, like barely. I think we started tapping back in like senior year though.
Yeah.
But that sound right?
Yeah,
like senior year.
Yeah, it was shortly after my surgery.
Oh, was it?
It was.
Oh, okay.
It was shortly after my surgery. I was basketball. We did a lot, so we were like traveling like year round. It was consistent. Like there's no time for really. You know what I'm saying? Unless those little weekend breaks where I can make a trip up to Mira Mesa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's like 40-minute commute. You know what I'm saying? And that's in the car. Back in the day, we were on a trolley and bus.
So I remember like you was killing in football, and then like I remember you got a lot of looks in college for colleges and stuff like that. And we was talking about it this week. You was talking about how you went out to Arizona and you just wasn't feeling it no more though. You was cool.
Yeah, I was already coming to my consciousness at this time, you know what I mean? Like slowly but surely. And I realized like this is something that somebody else put on me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't solely mine. Like I enjoyed playing sports.
Right.
But this was somebody else's dream, living it through me because they wanted me to stay out of trouble, which I respect. I understand what the motion was. And I love that person for that. But at that specific time when I was over there at college, it was just like, you know what I mean? I'm wasting space right now because this ain't really what I'm gonna be doing. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, my twins are just born.
That's what I'm saying. You had your kids in high school.
I got a video recording of them first starting to walk. I'm missing their first steps.
Yeah.
I have no pops. I already know all these type of feelings. What I'm not gonna do. Thanks for showing me what not to do. But you know what I mean? So I'm like, I need to get there. I'm out of here.
Wow. Shout out Dion. He was a good father figure, big brother to you for sure. Yeah.
I do.
But I forgot to bring Dion up. But you had your kids in high school. I remember you came up one time and you had this boy had the red Caprice with the red rims. Oh my God. And I had the Explorer. My Explorer was cool though. I had the white Explorer. You was like, man, we gotta trade. I need a family car. I was like, for sure. Hey, you had beaten the Caprice too. And I was like, you brought the Caprice one time. I said, oh my God, I didn't even say I need it. You was like, man, I'm thinking about trading. I want to trade you. I was like, done deal.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't trade, but
I knew what was going on. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like I knew, life is finna life real
For
fast.
sure, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now I'm 6 in and
6 kids in.
Yeah, I'm 6 in.
All right. So I mean, okay, like I remember so like when we started tapping back in, senior year, we was partying a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like I met your peoples. You met my peoples. You know what I'm saying? And we started kind of like clicking up. Like low key, you know what I'm saying? Well, you started coming around Mira Mesa more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like not to skip over nothing, but I remember just my perspective of things was like you came back to Mira Mesa.
I was up there frequently.
Yeah, you came. It was like every weekend damn near.
Yeah.
You would come through, you know what I'm saying? We'll go to parties and stuff like that. And we was acting like we was grown for sure. You know what I'm saying? We was acting like we was grown. We doing our thing. We got in, few little street activities, you know what I'm saying, together, you know what I mean?
That's amazing.
Yeah, street little things,
Yeah.
man. Like for sure, partner. I remember we did things, and I, because you were already doing your thing, I was doing my thing, and our little thing in the streets or whatever, and then we just had good chemistry, I guess, because we never did nothing together, and then we did, and it would just happen.
Yeah, that
You know
part.
what I'm saying? So I remember that, and then we was tapping in and all that. Then I don't know what happened. I think I might have moved. I might have got
Yeah,
up
I
out of here.
think you were.
Shit caught up.
Yeah, Mike. When Mikey passed, I believe this is shortly after a situation where I won't speak on because I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
That had happened with you, and
Yeah.
you were right down the street. And I remember I tapped in, or you had called me, and I'm like, you're like, bro, and you told me that you thought you were under the assumption that Mikey just got shot, and that was that. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, nah, like, brother's gone. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I think like from then it was kind of like I was already like shaky with opening up with anybody anyway. So then when like that action took course, it was kind of like I didn't want to get close to nobody no more. You know what I mean? Like that was something that really had me in a dark space for a long time.
Because you also had your homegirl, your close home. Did she pass before Mike or after?
She passed before Mikey. She passed in January. Mikey passed in April.
Same year?
Same year. And then our homeboy John passed in October.
Damn.
2 gun violence, one car accident. Yeah.
God,
and then we had a homegirl like that December of 2011.
Yeah.
Like she was the first one. She got killed in Arizona as well.
The Mikey one for sure messed me up because I remember when you introduced me to Mikey. Mike, it was love. We had, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I already
and he knew my people. He knew KO. Remember KO?
Yep.
They was family. You know what I'm saying? But like, it was love, so it was bad that I heard that. I know that fucked you up. You know what I'm saying? I know it fucked you up. But I remember seeing you. It was like when he passed, I came back. I moved right next, like close to you at that time.
Yep.
And we tapped in that day, but we didn't tap in like, you know what I'm saying? We had shit going on. You feel me?
That part.
But I remember that I was happy you was close. Like I came and fucked with you a couple times, but we just wasn't that like I was just busy. You was busy. But yeah, I remember that. That was bad though, man. How'd you deal with like? Can you speak on what happened with Mikey? Was it?
Just just regular encounters. You know what I'm saying? That one thing leads to another, and it goes overboard.
Yeah.
Or like somebody feels like they got to prove a point because they can't handle a loss, or you know what I mean. And it's always the ego and the pride that gets that next level. Yeah. And these individuals were ready for that, and my cousin was not.
Right.
And unfortunately, he paid with his life. Right. And you know what I mean. It was tragic. It was definitely tragic because we didn't even see 21. I mean, and he was a father of his own, and I fought with him damn near every day to get him back to come back to San Diego. But he was like,
he was an AZ.
I am not leaving my son, and I understand. You know what I mean?
He was an AZ, right?
He was an AZ too.
He was an AZ at that time. That's crazy. And I remember briefly, Christina, I've been to her crib that one time. You know, when I got up with you, and that was a terrible one too. And then we talked about that and how much of a small world, because she died with a boy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. So, and that was a tricky situation. You know what I'm saying? Man. Damn. Okay. So like. You get to the point you got how many kids at this point? You got the twins for sure.
I have the twins for sure. Yeah. I just have the twins at this point.
Okay, you got the twins. And you're how old? 21, 22?
I'm 21 at this time.
Okay, 21. All right, boom. So then you move past those things around what time do you start you like
coming to?
Yeah, like a little bit.
You know what I'm saying? This nonsense gotta stop.
Right. No, because, hey, listen.
Realistically though, bro, like you know what I'm saying, 20, 27, 28.
I feel like
I'm about to say like 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago before I got up here.
No, for real.
I was gonna snap on somebody earlier.
No, for real though, because I remember like and this time I'm already knowing about the truth. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm already knowing about the truth. And I think I'm telling you though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
No,
told
you
you.
was. And I
Yeah.
would come up, I would go over there to downtown and like pull up on you sometimes.
Oh,
While you
when I was
doing-
passing
while you
out
was doing-
flyers.
Yeah, I was always
That's
like intrigued because like
crazy.
the homie's doing his thing and like bruh's into it. So
Yeah.
like let me do my research over here.
Shout out to that, man. I used to be
Yeah.
in downtown San Diego passing out flyers as a
Yep.
trooper, bro. That was
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Long time
That's
ago.
crazy.
Long time
Yeah.
ago.
So and I ran into Dion too.
That part.
I ran into Dion
Yeah.
too. That's funny. So like, cause I remember you just getting hella shit when we used to talk. I was like, damn, like, I was like, bro, this happened. I'm like, bro, like, chill,
back to
like,
back to
yeah,
back. Yeah.
chill.
Yeah. It seemed like when you're looking on the outside in, like when you're in that energy,
Right.
you think you're not thinking of no like escape plan.
Yeah.
You're just consumed by it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And something happened to where I was able to regain my consciousness, and I was like, "Whoa,
All
let
right.
me slow down and step away from and get over here," because it's just a pool of nonsense, bro.
Yeah.
It really is, and it's unfortunate, you know what I mean, for untimely demises and things
Right.
like that. But you know,
Can I tell a story real quick?
all the time.
It's your interview, but we got some.
No,
funny,
no,
we
no,
got some
yeah,
funny
I'm sorry.
shit. That's why that shit that happened. We talked about too. Like when was that San Diego State? I'll tell the story. And you just confirm it or
I
just
got
add
you,
to
I
it.
got
We
you,
in San
yeah.
Diego State one time, and I drove up there. We hella thick in my car, and it's all my homies and you, right?
Yeah.
And we go up there, and for some reason, we just start arguing. Like me and you
Yeah,
just
it was
start
something
arguing.
stupid.
We arguing on it about some stupid shit, and I'm like, nigga, I think I don't know who started it, but we go, man, my homies will beat your homies up. And I'm like, what? I was like, my homies will beat your homies up. Hey, we having a full blown argument about whose homies will beat each other up. But we talked about. I was like, me and Chris was about to fight. You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? Like that's really my
No,
brother.
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm not fighting him. Like you know what I mean? But we was acting like we was gonna fight. You
That
know what I mean?
part.
Not really, but we was like
Nah,
arguing over it.
all I know is everybody else is kind of like, whoa, wait, I'm not getting in the middle of that. That's their business.
Right.
That's why at first I was kind of like, yeah, I don't know, man. You know, these guys, these are your friends, homie. They're not my friends. Not like, you know what I mean? Like, you my partner, because if one of these dudes say something
Right.
stupid, we turn the energy on them. That's why and that was like my little bell out moment. I was like, man, I hope one of these dudes say something stupid so I can flash on them. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, no, my homies will beat your homies up.
Bro, we was there arguing. We were supposed to find a party to go to.
That part.
And we was there arguing for like an hour, maybe 2 hours about that thing.
laps.
Walking. We got banged on. We were like, what? Shut your ass. we fight each other. We said, man, shut your ass. We should have stole on them
Yeah,
for
that's
real.
what we should have
But
did.
we were so mad at
we
each
didn't
other.
we didn't walk so many laps at that point.
Right.
We was tired already. Let's go back to the pad, homie. You know
Yeah,
what
we
I mean?
finally got in the car and got up out of there.
For
There was a
sure.
lot of funny shit that went on, but that
For
was one of
sure.
the funniest times ever, for real.
Yeah, that's it.
All right, so like, and that's one thing too, though. When I was like, every time we would talk, you would always ask me questions too.
Mhm.
Always ask me questions, and you came out. Oh, damn, that's crazy. You came out to the IE one time.
Yep,
You remember that?
I do.
You came out to the IE. I'm gonna tell this story too. You came out to the IE, and like, I think I'm I'm knowing it, but I'm still like fighting myself. Remember that though? Like,
Yeah,
I'm,
yeah, that part,
yeah,
that
yeah.
part,
Like
that
I'm
part.
young in the truth, maybe like a trooper, or maybe even a young man or something like that. But like, you come through, I'm telling you, yeah, man, like Jesus black and all this stuff, and you know, it shows me in the Bible this, and you sitting there, bro, and I'm looking at you, and you like listening like a mug though, you
Yeah.
listening. And I remember you called me one time. You was like, "Hey, bro, I went to the tattoo shop, and I didn't get a tattoo."
Like it was a compliment.
Hey, yeah. I was like, hey,
Hey, you know what's a trip, bro?
what's up?
That's crazy that you brought that up, bro.
Yeah.
Full circle. I was actually gonna get something from Christina for Christina.
Yeah.
Yeah, her quote that she lived by. I was gonna get it tattooed on my back, and then I want to say the conversation was geared towards that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Prior to me making that decision, and when I was like, you know, back in Dago,
Yeah.
about for whatever reason, that thought had just ran across my head, and I was like, "Hey, bro, I gotta go, man. I gotta. I forgot. I made up some whack ass shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm out of here. I'm not finna open up my skin and get
That's
nothing."
funny. Nah, but I remember like you was battling, like you was still into. You asked me about. I remember you asked me about Easter. And I gave you the whole breakdown too.
Yeah.
I went up in there, but I gave you the whole breakdown of that Easter thing.
Yeah,
But you would ask me questions, and you would tell me things too, like you know, hey, I look at this like this way and like this way, and I was like, man, that's what's up, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you really peeping it, like,
yeah,
you really peeping it for sure.
It makes the most sense to me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
So like, okay, like, what got you? You know, when did you start like thinking like I'm gonna do some music? Like, I'm gonna.
I've always had it like in me to do. I was just shy.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, I was just shy. Like I was insecure about my scar on my chest. Like all type of shit that would just keep me in my own little cocoon unless I'm running outside. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
but like as far as like anything that has to do with like verbal anything in front of people, I'm not doing none of that. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it was always there. It was always there. And then there was a time where I actually like kind of was like against rappers and stuff just because, you know what I mean? I seen like the constant, you know, repetition with these guys. No disrespect. It was a thought and a feeling out of ego, but it made me want to like change the trajectory of it.
I got
you know what I'm saying? Like of how I was feeling towards this beautiful thing that actually can bring out good emotion. You know what I'm saying? Or any type of emotion. But at that time, it was only dark and negative and bullshit. And I was just overwhelmed and fed up with it. And you know what I'm saying? But it was always there until I could finally like, all right, I had to like reinvent myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And with that, I was able to just, all right, now I'm comfortable with doing it in front of people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's always been there. I've been writing rap since I was 8 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, but I'm finna show you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like that type of person. Like, you know what I mean? If you found it, it was a problem.
Right. Right. For like, sure. Yeah. For sure. Okay. So like, remember, like every question I got is from my perspective.
That part
of, you know, what I thought or remember about you and all that stuff. And then so you get there. I mean, you having kids, you being a family man. You know what I'm saying? I remember I would just tap in with you on Instagram. I see you what you doing this. I'm like, you know me, I'm hitting you like, what you work like? What's your job, bro? I'm looking at your job like, what the hell is that? Look hard as hell. And I see you traveling for your job and stuff like that. Then I'm seeing all your kids. You know what I mean? I'm like, this nigga really got hella kids, bro. Yes, so you got 6, right?
6.
Yeah, I got 5. I'm talking shit.
Right there.
I'm talking shit.
There.
So you do the job and things like that. And I remember like, you know what I'm saying? And like you was telling me like, what, you know, you had like a little habit. You started getting, start
picking up bad habits. Yeah, man, it's looking at it, it's like definitely survivor's remorse.
Damn,
guilt,
that's heavy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I it took me a while to identify it, but there's no way that like a regular human can function like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like every day.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was.
You guys tell them what you was doing, what you was on.
Yeah, I mean, it was really like drank. Like I drank every day, but it was what was the drinking was opening up to, and then I eventually fell into cocaine. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like with that, it just gets worse and worse and worse. At first, it's like a feeling of like you're invincible,
right?
And like you can like kind of like trick yourself, or like, you know what I mean, into believing that you're something that whatever.
Yeah.
It'll tear your mind up for sure.
Did it became visible to other people?
Nah, I mean to the people I was with, yeah. I mean like, but I'm not a person who's gonna do something and just be out in the world with it. So like I was in a cave doing it anyway.
Right.
But still though, I still had to look myself in the mirror, and that was something that I couldn't look at. You know what I mean?
My bad. You know why I'm laughing? My bad. I'm rude as hell. You know why I'm laughing?
Cool.
We seen each other maybe like 3-4 years ago. Maybe it was 3 years ago. 2 years. I don't remember.
Mhm.
And when I went downtown.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No. I came to Chula Vista. You picked me up.
That part.
Okay. And I remember you took me to some little some back block. Right?
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah,
where we
yeah.
at, bro? I got work tomorrow. I'm looking. We about to go into a little area. He was like, yeah, I do it. He was like, hey, just before we go in there, I do a little coke.
I'd have let you know. I mean,
Hey, I was like,
you know what I
I
mean?
looked at you. I was like, oh, okay, for sure. In my head, I was like, damn, the homie do coke.
Yeah, like, fuck.
I
mean,
was like, whoa, the homie do
Yeah.
coke. This is crazy. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
said, I guess niggas do coke.
it's definitely more of like a popularity thing
Yeah,
rather than anything. Like it's not like, you know what I mean? You're not gonna find a coke hit like or whatever. Like you have to have money to do it.
right.
You know what I'm saying? This ain't no shit that. So it kind of like it's like lean. It's all like, you know what I'm saying? But it's
Yeah.
very like
Right.
bad for your body and your mind. Period.
Right.
So like, you know, it got real dark, and then when it goes dark, I go dark, and I just remove myself from the world. But this time I was able to have like something come over me to where I feel alive again. You know,
Yeah,
and
that's
it feels
good.
great because it was getting dark and out of control for a minute, man.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then you had to, because I know you for that too. I know you
Mhm.
for getting like refocused and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean, cutting things off so you can focus on yourself.
That part.
That's good though. You always strengthen your mind, like
Mhm.
your mental, like on your own, a few times
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember you telling me about your baby mama, your first baby mama, and when you had your heart surgery and how terrible you felt.
Yeah.
You know, I remember we talked about that. You was
Yeah.
like, man, I lost 45 pounds. You was already like probably 170, 180 at the
Yeah,
time.
like 160.
Yeah.
160 if anything.
So like you ended up losing hella weight.
Yeah.
And I remember you break that down. You was telling me about how, you know, she picked your spirits up around that time too. Like,
Yeah, man. Always, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Always. But yeah, it was just like, you know, at that time, you know, you want to do all the stuff that everybody else is doing, and
Hmm.
I wasn't strong enough to do it. I mean, like I didn't have the strength to do it, and she
Yeah.
would like carry my backpack to school,
Mm.
all type of shit. Like I couldn't lift over 10 pounds for like a good 6 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
I couldn't get back into the gym till like 4 months after. Like it was like I mean, mind you, my rib cage was just broken open in my.
was hard to
in
breathe,
my,
too?
In my chest, my plate right here. I have a big scar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You've seen it before, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean. So like, at that time, like when I really remember when I was 17, because like I don't remember the first two. This one I was like, oh shit, like I'm weak.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? And she would just make sure that I got to and from like safely and comfortably, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
day in, day out.
That's love, bro.
Yeah,
That's
off
love
top.
for sure.
She got 2 kids from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From that specific
that time.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
From that
yeah.
time.
Because y'all got like
4, we got 4,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy because I seen your twins. I'm like, boy, that's
Mhm.
you. God damn, it's crazy. Because they look like you when I met you.
Yeah, they still
Like,
do. Oh man.
Are they tall too, right?
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
So like, go back to the habit like, and the addiction at the time,
Mhm.
right? You had the addiction, and you said it was alcohol. It was the coke for sure,
Mhm.
and then, but then like you had the situation with your brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, Lil Nico.
Mhm.
Man, that's crazy. Can you speak on that for me, please? And like how it changed your mind? Because I remember I literally told you when we got back talking again, I was like, bro, where was you at? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you was gone for like a year.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
for
saying? You was
sure,
gone
for
for a
sure.
year. And I remember you told me what happened to your brother. But to
Mhm.
me, I assumed that he was about to get out. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
But go ahead, you could go into it.
You know, just like the similar stuff, you know, people just going out, trying to have fun,
Yeah.
turning up, testosterone gets thrown around, can't nobody check it.
Mhm.
Yeah, one thing leads to another, and you know, I mean, my brother's here, but he's not free.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So we're in the works of fighting for him to get free, because there's a lot of things that I can't speak on, but what I can
For sure.
say is, you know, Oregon laws are way different than California laws, but we're trying to find loopholes to get him out, because he was protecting himself, and
Mhm.
it's factual. It's not just
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we understand the laws, these laws need to be changed now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just outdated. I mean,
Laws do change.
you can't just cage somebody up for the rest of their life. You know what I mean?
Right.
They do.
Yeah, they do change. So like,
and they will.
It's hope for sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I remember you was telling me, like, that's kind of thing that make you want to, hey, like, all right now I ain't trying to drink, man, because
Yeah.
you know what I
Because
mean?
those things, you know what I mean? I felt, you know, it's a selfish feeling for sure, but I'm big bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like, you know, like he got that influence. You know what I'm saying? It was just a lot that I was dealing with at that time where I was just like, I need to just break free from this.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. That's love though. Yeah, that's just how you want to honor your brother too.
Yeah.
You know, like, you know, make sure he's straight by doing that, trying to keep your mind focused on, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
The things you want to be focused on. Yeah, just recently dropped the album too.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a real critic. I was like, I'm not a fan of that type of music.
Yeah.
Like,
you have always been you, bro.
Right.
Keep it like that. I mean, you don't need to change nothing to try to. You know what I mean?
but I kept it real because it was like, because I told you sound like Nip, Don Kennedy, like niggas love Nip, niggas love Don Kennedy, but I'm just like, I just need a little more hyper shit. But then I sat down because I knew I was gonna do this interview. I listened to the album, and I was like, oh no, this album go crazy. Like I genuinely fuck with the album for sure. Like, if I didn't, I just wouldn't have said none of this. Right?
Yeah,
I wouldn't have just brought it up.
And like the interview comes out, the whole parts cut out.
I wouldn't do that. That's funny as hell. Yeah, no, but
I appreciate that though.
Yeah, I love the album. You know what I mean? Closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Closer to God. CP, man. Go download that Apple Music for sure.
Apple Music. Yes,
and that was another thing too. Like before you were in dark mode, you was like picking up good little heat at the time too. You was.
Yeah, I was picking up.
That's how I know you didn't give a fuck.
I was picking up heat in a substance. And a substance and fucked all that up.
Damn, I feel you.
You know what I mean? But more or less just kind of like, you know, like lackadaisical about it, like whatever, but in an egoic way. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like, this ain't gonna affect me. And then next thing you know, my whole world's flipped upside down. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah.
And I'm just happy to regain my steps.
Yeah.
Because some people don't. Most people don't. But you gotta. It really. One thing I can say, bro. Ain't nobody finna stop until they're ready to stop, and that's just one thing that I can like. As much as we want, like family members, brothers, cousins, aunties, whatever. As much as we love them and we want them to stop, it's when they want to stop.
For sure.
For sure.
It's crazy because I ain't see you in a minute, but I think this the best. This is the best you looked in a minute, though.
Hey, good looking. Man.
Hey, I see you on your little health tip and all that,
man,
trying to be healthy and shit. No,
hey,
but
it's, you know, I already had the odds against me born, you know what I'm saying? Why am I even like poking the bear?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that needed to be checked.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I still might been a block to McDonald's or something, you know what I'm saying? But, off camera.
Yeah. Act like a nigga didn't do it. Okay. Man, okay, I gotta go back to this too, real quick, right? I remember when you came back, when we start fucking with each other again, like high school senior year or whatever, and you would come up every time, and you said I had an irritated look on my face. What happened when you was?
Oh yeah, because you know, like I was, you know what I'm saying, like you've always been like a protector, you know what I'm saying, especially for me, you know what I'm saying, like, and it was just something I was running from. And you know, mentally, and I was just up at your pad every weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
It to the point where I know you got irritated, but as soon as you had that irritated face, I said, I don't care that you're irritated, bro. I'm staying up here.
Hey,
I am not going back down there.
But when you said it though, like I had a demon on me. Now that I know what it was.
Yeah.
But like like when you said it, it's like the demon just went away.
Yeah,
It was like,
I
okay,
had to-
yeah,
I
that's
had to
bro.
get that up out of there.
But it wasn't like, oh, I don't want you here. It was just
No,
like,
no, no, no.
I
It
gotta
was just
create some shit for this nigga now. Because he here.
Yeah,
Nigga
that
forcing
part.
me to go out and shit.
That part. Yeah, I was always pushing the issue, man. I'm gonna push that motherfucker.
Yeah, no,
to the limit.
that was a good thing though, for sure.
Yeah.
It was a good thing that you pulled up. But what was you trying to like? What was you at the time going through where you didn't want to be down there no more? Like you had beef or something? Yeah, like or something like
Nah,
that.
it was just like the same. I can't do the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over
I feel.
with those certain habits that I had because they were negative habits.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I know eventually, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I need to get away from this mode, from this beast that is like trying to take me with them. You know what I mean? Like I gotta, and my safe haven was you and your family.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? It really was at that
Appreciate
time,
that, too.
at that brief moment. Like, you know, your moms, you know what I mean? Your step pops, all y'all, man, your sister, everybody, man.
Uh-huh.
Like, you guys were a safe haven for me, like for a cool minute, like, because it was just everything was happening so fast, and it was just like I needed to press pause real quick
Yeah,
while everybody else still going. You know what I mean? Cycle. I need to
right.
take
Yeah.
a little breather on the sideline.
Hell yeah.
to sub me out.
I feel you though.
You know what I mean? At this time, you know, like people are just, you know, they were dropping, they're going to jail. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I'm not finna fight my intuition.
Yeah,
And it shows me that I need to follow it every time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? How this weekend, out of all weekends, I'm forcing the issue to go to my partner's house. And at the same time, you know, one of the homies just got killed. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's not for no reason.
right.
So I always appreciated those things. You know what I'm saying? Even though if it was irritating at the time.
But I like how you said, hey, I don't care.
Yeah, I did it.
I don't care how you feel. I'm coming over,
All
nigga.
time. We've been at it, you know what I mean? Been
Yeah.
at it since we was in middle school, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I remember I told you the story too, because at our middle schools we had football.
Yeah.
We had the flag football. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I played quarterback for a different middle school. And y'all was at Comer Valley, I was at Earl Warren.
Yeah.
And I'm playing quarterback, and I hear Brock, you and Brock sitting down talking shit. Well, Brock is talking shit.
Yeah, Brock's talking
Brock's
shit.
talking
for sure.
shit to me. He's like, "What you looking at for? I come over here and tackle you." But like I told you though, I looked at y'all and I was hella happy because I was like, "Damn, some black niggas." I said, "Them about to be the homies."
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't even care what this fucking you was talking about. I was like, "Them about to be the homies." I was like, "What school they go to? They go to Carmel Valley?" I said, "Yeah, I think I'm going to Carmel Valley next year." I moved. Remember them apartments right there?
Yep.
I moved right in them apartments.
Yep.
I was like, "Oh yeah, them about to be the homies."
Yeah,
So I wasn't even tripping. You know what I mean? Okay, for sure, man. I don't want to miss nothing though, man. I don't want to miss nothing at all. Is there anything we talked about we had to go over?
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to we'll jump into the music a little bit more, and
Okay.
then we'll talk about the meaning of the air sign and the free smoke and all that. Remember?
Oh yeah. Can you get into the like okay, the album being closer to God, right? Like break that down for me because I it sounds self-explanatory.
Yeah.
But what was your mission in naming it that, and what was the reason you named it that, like closer to God? How you come up with that?
I think at the time I wasn't like aware of it. I just knew like the self-explanatory meaning of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then kind of like through everything that was going on through that project, and then up until, you know, my life at this point, you know what I'm saying? It's just like kind of like a statement of where you want to be at,
Yeah.
you know, where I wanted to be and where I'm gonna be at.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? It's just it's just like it's simple. Like for some reason, it's just so simple now to me. Like with understanding, you know, right from wrong, even when there is black and white and gray areas and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I felt like it was, to me, it's a blueprint and a reminder for myself and the others. I feel the same way to like keep pushing towards whatever it is that's going to bring you peace.
Why?
If you can't, you know, if you're not willing to, is, you know what I mean? You just get further and further from the origin.
Yeah. Like who your inspiration though? Like who you listen to? Like who's your guy?
I mean, I like a whole bunch of artists, but you know, for a while, Nip, of course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like people from my city.
For sure.
Like I grew up on all.
Let me ask you this, since we're on the topic, real quick.
Mhm.
Like you from San Diego, I'm from San Diego. What city influences San Diego the most? I kind of just told him myself, but what would you consider?
I mean, when we were growing up, or right now.
When we were going, perfect. When
we were growing up, LA for sure.
You said LA?
Yeah,
You think so?
I think so. I think so because of all the things that we were, or I would say I was attracted to at that time was more like the gangbanging and shit, but all that type of shit
That's true.
was sectored here from there.
I think it was
You
both
know
though. I think it was LA and the Bay. I think it was both.
The Bay,
For sure.
the Bay has a heavy influence too.
Yeah.
But the Bay also, it wasn't influential with music though as much.
Nah, it was
but it was more
street
like
shit.
yeah, that part.
But I tell people all the time, like when it came to drugs, not that this is something to talk about, but like San Diego is probably like the first city ever to really start messing with like designer drugs. Like heavy like that, remember? Like perks and like what they do.
All
man,
that wild shit.
They was like San Diego niggas was on
bro.
that like when I was like young. You know what I'm saying? Now kids are popping perks and all that. They've been doing all these drugs. It was crazy. Get into like the free smoke thing for me too, please.
Yeah, I got you. You know, I do the concept from, you know, just what's on the surface. You know, just that attention, like free smoke. You know what I mean? But it's a representation for me being an air sign. You know what I'm saying? And it being the point in the pyramid that, you know, has the line for the top that completes the Star of David. It's just a lot of things that I put together, but it's more to challenge the mind rather than the person and their like physical being. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I got some bars and gems for you over here. Here's free smoke for you.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Go put that in the air because that's where the sound and waves is gonna go into.
Oh, okay. I got you.
They just control that beast that way because it kind of is like a representation of me. You know what I'm saying? Like a kind of like a firecracker person, and like just, you know, just always like poke that rather than just controlling it and just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And have it under my control rather than out of it.
For sure. Okay. Man, before I let you go, I gotta ask you this, just being a San Diego native myself, I might be biased, but you just tell me. You might be biased. Who got the best Mexican food you ever had?
San Diego, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think I'm just saying.
It's not even close.
I was just telling them about how
it's not even close.
I was telling people be trying to tell me, oh yeah, man, you ain't been to Houston.
We ain't been there because it ain't nothing to be there about.
I had some tacos in LA. It was good, but it ain't San Diego. You feel me? I don't know. It's just different. But I try to say that, man.
Dago for sure.
Dago for sure. Man, look, I appreciate you for your time, though, Brody. You know what I'm saying? Of course, you know we're gonna do it again.
Yeah,
we're gonna run it
definitely.
back. You know what I mean? We gotta just introduce you to the camera. You know what I mean? Let them know about this album. Let them know about your journey. You know what I'm saying? Don't be surprised he in all black one day. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
Don't be surprised at all.
But until then, man, we're gonna get back with you for sure. All right.
Big dog, baby, but you already knew. Feeling like Wayne, everything brand new. Hopped up out the coupe, so fly, it's like I flew. I just want the bands, I ain't talking about no group. Bitches nowadays so bad it's by the tools. Niggas talking smoke till I pull up with the fuse. Talking out your neck, be the reason she gon' choose. Always stuck to the code, even when I had to lose. Hey, go time, Don Dada fuck a cosign. I'm too busy in my business cause they both mine. And take that fake shit off cause it don't shine. Call it how I see a risk taker, niggas no dice. Free my brother out the clank. I ain't rapping just to rap, shit is deeper than you think. Gave it right to God and got left with the pain. Still pushing through this pressure, going hard to the paint. Yeah, cold-hearted. I was born in the winter. Takers gonna take, but the winner is the giver. All this free smoke heavy in the bars I deliver. Prepping all my folks so we know who's against us. Keep your feelings to yourself. Life is what you make it, yes, heaven or it's hell. Ayy, hard body niggas frail. Free smoke, baby, you could tell by the keep your feelings to yourself. Life is what you make it, yes, heaven or it's hell. Ayy, hard body niggas frail. Free smoke, baby, you could tell by the